Welcome to Life Rules, everybody, the podcast about why life rules and what your life rules are. My name is Mike Laser, and my guest today is Joel Hadley.
That's me.
What's up, dude? I'll give you a little intro, and then you can give yourself a better intro. All right?
Probably not likely. I'm excited.
Okay, so my intro for you is we've known each other since kindergarten all the way through today. We have been living in the same cities the entire time, and we have also grown into the type of people that we've always wanted to become in a lot of ways. And I think that we've both put in a lot of work to get to where we are, because I don't know how you feel, but I don't like my childhood me very much. And I've actively been like, yo, this is not working. What do I have to do to become the man I want to be?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah,
yes.
man.
I mean, we're little bastards as kids, you know, and every kid's a little bastard in some ways, but like, shit, we definitely had an upbringing that was a little bit off the beaten path from, I think, a lot of other people. That's probably relatable, but you want to be different than that. You look at that and you're a little embarrassed, you know, it's like,
yeah,
you know, how could I have been way better?
Well, I'm not going to put you on the spot to talk about your family and your history. I'll talk about it myself.
I'm open.
But first, I got a surprise for you.
Okay. I like a good surprise.
How would you give yourself, what kind of credits would you give yourself? Because like, it's, you know, it's so easy to be like, he's worked here and he's done this, but what kind of credit do you want when people introduce you?
Just a good human being, a good friend. That's really all. Like, I don't care about any other accolades. It's just, yeah. I like to think of myself as a good community builder and connector.
A community builder and connect, dude. Yeah. Your energy, when you walk into a room, people feel your energy and turn towards the door before you're there. And then once you're there, you always know at least a handful of people in every spot. And if you don't know, you are able to go up to them, make those connections, and then you really do build community in every place you go in a natural way that makes everyone feel comfortable. And it's pretty necessary most of the time, because so many of us are just wallflowers who would much rather be on our phones in the same room together than actually take photos, set up the Apple Watch and get a bunch of pics or like capture moments and get to know each other. Totally. And you bring that out of everybody in a way that makes everyone feel good.
I appreciate that. I do enjoy getting to know people. I like talking to people. Everybody has cool stories, and then it adds to your stories, getting to know them. I mean, life is one big story. So how many of those fun little side quests can you say that you completed? And how many conversations can you say you've had? How many people have you met? How many things have you done that you can say, this is a fun story that I can really relate to you about, but not step on somebody else's toes? Like, do your thing, but let me, if you want, I have a relatable experience that I can be on the same wavelength. And if I don't, yo, I'm strapped in and ready to learn. I want to add that to my book. You know, that's cool.
100%. Yeah. Like when we were at, what the heck was that thing? The Woods. When we were at the opening of the Woods, and Woody Harrelson was there.
Yep.
And a bunch of other co-owners of, it's a dispensary owned by Woody Harrelson, Bill Maher, and Owen Wilson. And we were all hanging there. Right. That's where I met our mutual friend Mimi for the first time. That's you introduced me to Mimi because you're a connector. And then I was going to leave and you were like, yo, give me a minute. I got to go do something. And then you just went right up to Owen Wilson and started chatting him up. And like, that's so cool, man. I don't know many people who have the like balls to do that in a way that isn't off-putting to a celebrity.
I mean, for every question you don't ask, the answer is no, right? So like, and also shout out to producer Mark. We were talking about Woody Harrelson. We are talking about White Man Can't Jump a little bit ago. Like, fucking, hey, that's that guy.
Connector.
Oh yeah. But I wanted to go and really just say thank you to Woody Harrelson for inviting us, because we had run into him 2 days in a row, and then he was like, hey, come. Bring Mike over, come over to the bar, meet my wife, this kind of stuff. And we were just talking basketball. We were talking stuff that wasn't celebrity focused, because I don't give a fuck about that. I care more about, hey, you seem like a good dude and you invited us here. So I just want to say thank you for having us. And then Owen Wilson sitting there and playing backgammon. And I'm like, oh shit, how do you play this shit? Next thing I know, it's like, oh, so that's how you play some backgammon. Cool. Wish I'd have said thanks for Life Aquatic, because that movie's one of my favorites. But
no, it's not, dude. I don't get that movie at all.
Oh, dude, we gotta rewatch it. It's beautiful. It's so fucking perfect.
No, it's not
perfect, but it's really good.
It's one long low hum. I don't understand.
I don't know what that means, but I'm on board with it. I'm a fan. And Bill Murray, love him or hate him, is hilarious in that. Jeff Goldblum's hilarious in that. I mean, Angelica Houston, the cast is amazing. They have the set of an entire ship cut in half, where they show this is my ship, or this is my boat, and they show the whole thing cut from the inside, like a perfectly designed set. I'm a Wes Anderson fan, and
it makes me so uncomfortable.
of his movies. I know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wes Anderson makes me so uncomfortable. And then I looked
Fair.
at the chicken
Good.
nugget, picked up the chicken nugget, took a bite of the chicken nugget, and then thought, this is good.
Yeah, but this is like maybe not OG Wes Anderson, but this is like 2001, 2002 Wes Anderson before like the spotlight shone on him and he was getting like nominations for shit, I would imagine. And in that movie, he also had So George, who's like a Brazilian musician playing David Bowie in Portuguese the whole time. And I'm sitting here like, what is this song? Why do I know this song? You know, shout out to the homie Aaron Sparks who could identify it. And he's like, is this a Portuguese version of David Bowie? And next thing I know, I'm like, man, I'm listening to that soundtrack on repeat.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite soundtracks. You know, it's up there. So big love for that movie. And that's my favorite Owen Wilson movie, like hands down.
So not only is Owen Wilson in one of your favorite movies, but he taught you backgammon.
Yo, I learned some basics. I've been
That's
trying
so
to learn this
cool,
game for
dude.
ages. I love games. Give me any game. I'm pretty much in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun moment. And the woods is a great spot. And I just wanted to say thank you. Like legitimately, please and thank you. Being sincere helps. And people remember that, you know, they remember kindness more than they remember unkindness. Well, maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not,
It's
depending
easier to
on
carry
how-
around a grudge and be angry and be like, remember when you didn't hold the door open for me even though my hands were full? Like
Shout out
that's
to
what
Petty
people
Cash
remember.
Studios. That's some petty shit. That's petty as fuck. And you're right. I mean, it's easier to be angry and you see like leaving a negative review somewhere or say like, oh, I had a terrible experience. But how often are you saying I had a great experience or an above average experience? Not as often. You're like, oh yeah, that place was good. That's it.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that. And you're just more easily able to highlight the negative,
Yeah.
which is a big issue in general. Like we'll get to that.
Let's get to that. I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
What do you know about these?
Oh man, I am a fan.
Are you?
Yeah.
Because you're the biggest candy fan I know.
Man, if there was a casting for a real life Willy Wonka, I mean, I would put myself in, I would audition for shit, but I would go to a Wonka audition for real because you could blindfold taste test me with like artificial flavoring stuff from candy to soda. And I'll tell you what it was, minus the off-brand shit. These are good
for
stuff.
everyone who's not watching the YouTube, Nerds Gummy Clusters, which I was just turned on to, and I took a bite, and god dang if they're not one of the most perfect candies I've
so
ever
good.
had. Right? They're crunchy, they're tart.
Yeah.
You're a tart guy.
Yeah, I like sweet and sour more than I like,
Salty.
Well, no, I like a good combination, but I'm the weirdo who, if you're giving me an option between this and like a freshly baked croissant,
Yeah.
I'm taking the shitty nonsense candy because I
Yeah.
like the sugar that's going to give me cancer more than the,
All right, let's rank them because you.
croissant.
All right, I'm gonna throw out some candies that I think you like, and you tell me where they go.
Bring it.
Ready? Oh, this is like that TikTok thing where it's like, without knowing the next one, you have to rank these 5.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Nerds clusters.
There's clusters. Are we going out of 5? You give me 5?
Ranking number 1 is the best. Number 5 is the least. And once you hear the next one, you can move the rankings around.
Okay, then for now 1, because I'm 1 out of 1. Nerds clusters killing the game. Number 1 in the game.
Okay. Those sour neon worms.
I'll put those at like a 4. Those just drop down immediately. They're solid,
Okay.
Right.
Right.
But no different to me than like, any gummy worm just with some sour on it. They're good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Laffy Taffy.
That's probably going down to 5. They're good again, but
That sounds like a
fucking
6 based
banana.
on your name.
No. We're doing 5 for now. It's just dropping down. I'm just sticking with if this is the tone setter, the Nerds clusters,
Yeah.
that's the number 1 for now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Oh God, I don't know any other like soury.
Doesn't
gummy
have to be sour.
things.
Any candy you want. Doesn't matter. I mean, I will.
Warhead.
Oh, I heard Warheads. Oh yeah, those are good. Those are super sour for the first 30 to 60 seconds, and then they're really tasty. I wish they were non-sour Warheads because those are just delicious.
You
candies.
should be able to buy a middle warhead.
You should. Just the head.
Just the head.
Yeah, I mean, just the tip.
Yeah.
Of the
Get rid of the war,
warhead.
guys.
It
Yeah, they
can
should be
come
called
off.
love heads, and it's just the middle. That's a good idea.
All right,
That's a
solid.
good idea.
Hey, come on. Who makes these joints? Come on,
Wonka?
Wonka or whoever makes these.
So where's a warhead fall?
Warhead. I'll move that up into like. That's definitely better than the gummy worm experience because I don't have to get that stuck in my teeth as much, and I can just chomp it. Like shout out to the owl Tootsie Pop, just 3 bites, 3 licks.
100%. Shout out Craig School.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, the owls. I'll put that in number 3. That's coming up at 3. I'm still
Okay.
figuring out what that 2 spot is. We'll see what it might move up.
Okay, I'm trying to think of something that might even overtake the 1 spot for you, and that's fucking difficult.
Yo, I saw producer Mark had lemon heads in the other room. I think lemon heads are underrated and delicious. Now, here's why. They're good and sour. They got a nice chew to them if you bite into them slowly. And on top of it, cancer patients use it when they're going through chemo because it's like the only thing that blocks out the metallic taste from chemo.
Wow.
So they had a sponsorship. Shout out Immerman Angels. Chicago, free one-on-one cancer support, plug it. For anybody who's fighting, they'll connect a fighter and a survivor with each other who've survived the same cancers, same age, same gender, know what that journey's like. There's a light at the end of the tunnel and somebody to kind of guide them the whole way. And they partnered with Lemonheads specifically because it zeroes out that taste.
That's incredible.
Cool. Yeah. So I got a lot of love for Lemonheads. They wouldn't be normally in my top tier for just overall, but I mean, just saw them now.
Dang.
Presence of mind to call it out anyway.
Absolutely. So that would be number 2 if we're just going to call it there.
Yeah, I'll throw it in there. I mean, happy to see the comments blow up and be like, "What? You put the others over the worms?
This guy loves cancer." He wouldn't put him at number 1.
I said, "See, I'll eat the nerds that have all the artificial shit to give me the cancer, and then when I'm fighting it with the chemo, I'll just be eating the lemon heads." Come on.
Damn right.
I got the game.
What's your favorite candy of all time? In the gummy category, I like the gummy chew category.
Oh man, give me this is maybe a 1 and 1A. Nerds are right on here. So the sour sweet tarts, the chewy sweet tarts, mini chewy sweet tarts that you can easily choke on but are so delicious.
Yes.
Man, you can either chew them right away or like just suck them down to the crumbs of it where it just kind of like falls apart.
100%.
And I'm into that life.
You turned me on to them because I got addicted to my jaw feeling crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like at first I was like, ooh, this is too much. It's like tannins when you're drinking a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm craving that aching jaw feeling from how sour they are. It's really nice.
Another one I'll say isn't as sour, but is delicious are, you'll notice my theme of chewy gobstoppers, which are delicious. They come in like the purple box, the regular yellow box. Like they're you can still bite into them, but you're like fucking your teeth up a little bit. But the chewy ones, if you want to get impatient, again, that Tootsie Pop owl, I'm just crunching into it.
Yeah.
And, the flavors change throughout the entirety. Again, Wonka, count me into all this shit.
Dang, dude. What about in like the chocolate category? Like the either like small bite Reese's Pieces, the M&M versus the full candy bar? Like if that's all one area, what are your favorites? Butterfinger?
Ooh, I'm going to go overseas for this one. I'm going to London. I'm going to England. Cadbury chocolate is like 1,000 times better than any American chocolate would taste like more plasticky or whatever, but it's still
100%.
good. Don't get me wrong. I still like a good, like Nestle cluster, those little cluster bites. Those
Ooh,
are
yeah.
delicious.
A little
Or the
galaxy in
cookie
your
dough
mouth.
ones I got into recently. Those are all right. I'm still a Reese's Pieces fans, but across the pond, they've got this one that has honeycomb in it. And I'm blanking on the name of it right now. It'll come to me later, but it's in a gold package. It's so good. And every bite gets better, and it's got like honeycomb with chocolate on the outside. I've got it pictured now, and I'll bring you some. They're so good, and they sell them in, what is it? Crunchies. My guy, Mark. Crunchy is the jam, and they come in these little clusters similar to those, anything that's more bite-sized. You don't have to eat the whole bar. You can just have 2, 3, 4, 5, pop them in. They're so good, and similar to those chewy sweet tarts or whatever, you can just kind of like let them settle in your mouth, and they'll just slowly disappear. Ooh. And you can just let them flake apart in your mouth. It's so good.
It's so good. So good.
Those are hit or miss for people, but that's
I've had
not
them.
Just chocolate.
The other part of them that I love is how airy they are.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You can
like
suck the air out of it.
Suck the air out.
Yes. And then it just like crumbles, sucks your head in, like takes all the saliva out. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. London chocolate doesn't get the shine it should. I know we're all patriotic and we love our country, but goddamn, step up your game and get some London over here.
Dude, go to Canada. Canada's same shit because they all Cadbury chocolate. Whenever Canadian friends or British friends, whatever, come here, they're like, your chocolate is rubbish. Your chocolate is nasty. What is up with this? And I'm like, yeah, you're spot on. But I'll still fuck with the Kit Kat. I'll still fuck with a Butterfinger. You know, I can't just have regular chocolate. I need something in it. I can, but it only smaller amounts. Give me a Butterfinger. I'm going to crush those clusters. Again, give me the bite-sized joints.
Yeah.
I don't need the whole bar.
Can we, we need more clusters in the candy community. 100%. Like a Snicker cluster, a Twix cluster.
Ooh,
I'll tell you what, I was at the store the other night and I was looking for a Score because I was craving a Heathy toffee kind of a thing.
Ooh,
and they're not on the shelves, man. Score is nowhere to be found anymore.
Yeah,
it's
I think those
crazy.
Are tough. You know, I just recently saw Good and Plenty still like the price doesn't go down, and I'm a licorice fan and I fuck with Good and Plenty heavy. Actually, John Capetta, shout out John, was like, Good and Plenty. We all saw a movie. He was like, what are you, like a 60-year-old woman? And I was like, kinda. I love this shit. It's so delicious. And then he ate a couple. He's like, these are better than I remember. I was like, yeah, man, black licorice plus. Good for your digestion, good for your gut.
Really?
Maybe not good for your gut, but delicious.
It was, you, me, and I think Capetta's going to be a guest on here.
Some whatchamacallit.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's a great call.
So you, me, and Capetta's going to come on this pod, but we all took acid and saw Aquaman 2, and you came out with the Good and Plenties, and we both judged you so hard. Oh, yeah. And then you were like, you stuck to your guns, feet planted on the ground, said, try 'em, bitch. And both of us go, yeah, that's pretty good. Yo, let me get another round.
Look, I'm not one to back out of my opinion. I'm going to tell you the way I think it is. And like, you should too. And you know, everybody's got an opinion and they're both right because it's your opinion. It can't be wrong. It's your fucking opinion.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe you can have candy game.
You can have bad opinions, but they're still not wrong. It's yours.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
We don't need to get into politics on here. We talk about that enough off pod. But yo, if you're going to buy those Trump sneakers, you have bad opinions.
Oh, that's not even an opinion. That's just the reality is, what the fuck are you talking about? Willis, get out of here. No, I don't think so. Please.
I feel you.
Those should be like Hoka's or something. If it's going to be a Trump shoe, like it should be some, I guess that's shading Hoka, and I have no reason to shade them other than like they came up real quick and like it's the old person's walking shoe, but it'd have to be like, what would be the Republican sneaker? It would have to be like the most fucking fall apart sneaker that does exactly the opposite of what it says. It's only for running, or like it's a walking shoe.
It hurts your feet even though like you think it's good for you.
It comes with loose gravel bits in the bottom already. So every time you put it on, it just hurts.
That's funny. Like if Mischief came up with a new sneaker that had like sand already in the sneaker.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I gravitate to that.
Let's get into some life rules, dude. You're the best.
Mike Glazer, I love you. And thank you for the lovely gift. These are delicious. And I will definitely be popping these as we go. I might even drop one into my Pike's Place shitty roast coffee.
I got some Pike's Place too.
Yeah, you know, it's the basic. I would have gotten the Veranda Blonde. I just learned that they got the machines that they can just do them all instead of having to do the drip. It's just like an espresso machine or whatever. It's a fast twitch coffee machine. That's not the right description, but you can just choose your shit and it doesn't have to take forever to make it. They just push start and it's kind of like an insta machine. So next time I'm not getting this crappy Pike's Place, I'm getting that blonde roast.
Get that blonde roast. Yeah. Treat yourself. God damn.
Oh yeah.
You wrote so many of these.
I did write a lot.
Like you nailed the homework.
I love you, man. I want to make sure that there's I didn't half-ass this or like quarter-ass it. I wanted to like
full ass.
3/4 or full ass this thing.
You fucking full assed me.
Let's go all in.
Number one is also such a number one of your, like, these are like rules of life, but I also want to get into like why life rules. But I think like because you are joy, you are a beam of light. So we will get there as well. But one 100%. Of your life rules is be kind as kindness costs nothing.
Absolutely.
Oh, buddy, that's so hard though.
It can be, and I followed up with like the addendum is some like the most that it might cost you is a little bit of pride. You might have to swallow a little bit of pride to be kind when somebody is not kind to you.
Right, but we're people pleasers, dude. We are textbook people pleasers. So being kind can also be taken advantage of, and then you can feel slighted and you can feel like, oh, I didn't get, like, for me, I'm like, anytime I'm kind, I also worry that I'm getting taken advantage of.
Well, that's fair. I would say, know your limits, but it still costs nothing to be kind. I mean, say a please, say a thank you, add a very much if you really mean it. Yeah. And be kind, because you never know what somebody's dealing with at any given moment. None of us know what each other's going through. And that could just be this morning you stubbed your toe. It could be you have a real shit going on in your family, friends, whatever it is. We're all doing our best, which you say, and I've adopted. I'm like, hey man, we're all doing our best. You said it the other night when we were out. Yeah.
That woman, she flipped her hoodie back and sprayed me with rainwater because of that. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We're all doing our best. And everybody cracked up, and it's just like, That's a real one because we are all doing our best.
Yeah.
Real shit. So yeah, be kind as much as you can. And if somebody deserves some unkindness, like, I mean, serve them up a little dish, you know what I mean? But it takes a little extra energy if somebody's a dick to you to really be extra kind and be like, I'm not going to fall for the trap because it's easy to fall into that negative shit. Just kind of like restaurant reviews or whatever we were talking about earlier. It's easier to leave a negative review than a positive review. So like same thing. It's easier to react negatively to something than it is positively. Try to stay in that mental framework of, hey, it's not about you. It's about that person is dealing with that or they're dealing with. All you can do is give them a little extra light and kindness and hope that it gets reciprocated down the road, or maybe it will have no impact, but it shouldn't have an impact on you, their negativity, if you can fight it with some positivity.
Yeah. Negativity for a while there in this country, it was cool to be negative, right?
Yeah. I mean,
like
it was
like
the troll. Everybody likes the troll. Everybody likes to be like the snarky comment, but you can't read sarcasm in text.
Right.
You know, you can bold it. You can add some italics. You can do some shit, but it's not the same as.
I might add a shrimp emoji on each side just so you know I'm joking, keeping it loose.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I didn't know that exists.
I have a question for you, real question.
Bring it.
Okay, you're talking about being kind.
Yeah.
Let's say you're the first person to get to a door, and there's a lot of people who want to get through that door. What is your tolerance break for how many people you will hold that door open for?
I mean, this is where that people pleaser comes out. I'm holding that fucking door.
Are you really? You're seeing the line?
And the younger me, early mid 20s, even into late 20s might be like, oh, you're welcome when somebody walks by and doesn't say some shit. Oh, 100%.
I'm still like, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. I'd be like, tips appreciated, or at least a thank you. Shit. I'm not paid to hold this door for you, but at the end of the day, like, just do unto others, the golden rule type shit. Life Rules podcast, like the golden rule, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Like just treat people kindly or whatever that golden rule is. Like just don't be a dick, So if it means I'm holding the door for you and then I'm going to stand in a longer line because I'm going in to get a coffee or I'm going in to get something, I'll say, I'm not afraid to walk up and be like, hey, I held that door for you. Do you mind if I sneak on up there? And sometimes it hits. Sometimes I'll be like, nah, man. I'll be like, cool, then hold your own fucking door next time. I won't say that, but
no, but you will stick up for yourself because at that point you're like, well, I did all of this and now I'm going to like feel comfortable enough to say, let me get up here, dog.
100%. If they don't recognize it, then real don't recognize real. And I don't want to fucking hold the door for you, but I probably still will. Like shout out Ted Lasso. If you haven't seen that show, like the very first episode or second episode, he holds the door forever.
Oh, no kidding.
The owner is walking forever and he just stands there and like looks down, shuffles. And she's like, you didn't really have to hold the door that long. He goes, but as she approaches, he goes, I appreciate you not hurrying. Like I respect you not hurrying, like taking your sweet ass time. But yeah, man, I'll hold that door most likely, especially for like a woman or an elderly person or like somebody with a kid.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Well, it goes deeper than just this question, but are you able, if like, let's say another person, you're holding the door and they go over the top of you and they hold it for you and they're like, thanks so much. Are you able to accept that? Or are you going to say like, nah, get in there. I got this.
It depends if I know them. If it's just a stranger and they've seen it, if they're like trying to give me the break, they're like, yo, I see you're holding it. I'll accept that.
You will accept.
Be like, oh, thanks, man. Other times I'll be like, no, after you, especially if it's a friend, I'll be like, I got it. It depends on the situation.
Okay. But you're able to accept somebody's kindness in return for your own kindness.
Not afraid to ask for help or appreciate it. We'll get to that one later.
Well, let's get to it now. These are all over.
Help. Yeah,
asking for help is impossible.
It is not. It just takes a lot of training. They don't really teach that it's okay to ask for help. It's always you're weak if you ask for help, that kind of stuff. But when you're fortunate enough to realize that help, everybody needs it and everybody should be offering it when they can. Yeah, asking for help is a strength that takes time to hone that skill. I'm a big fan of like team building activities and like I'm a summer camp guy. I've worked at summer camps forever and gone to summer
camp. What ages?
I went to camp when I was before even the age that you could be at camp. I was like the camp kid because my mom.
You were a camp prodigy?
Yeah, I was a little genius at camp. No, I was a little fucker at camp. I was a little bastard when I was the camp kid because I could get away with everything,
Yeah.
Shout out to my moms who would take me there and it would be like hilarious. I'd be just a little like 4-year-old kid wandering around and they'd be giving me like words and phrases to say that were totally inappropriate in the 80s that I shouldn't have known or been
Cussing
saying.
is so fun when you're a kid.
Oh, it's the best. I didn't know or like this one dude asked me to go up to a female counselor and say something like, so-and-so thinks you're foxy. And I remember that. And I was like, I don't even know what that meant. And then, later on, I was like, that's some cheesy shit that the 80s were asking me to go and deliver as a message, but I'm sure it was adorable because I was a cute kid.
If I ever
Much as I
had
was a pain in
kids,
the ass.
Hanukkah, Christmas, something like that, under the tree or as a gift, I'd put like, you're allowed to say 6 fucks.
I knew where that was
You know
going.
what I'm saying? As
You
like a
get the
gift.
of cursing. Yeah, you get to redeem them.
Yep.
But in-house only. Can't be out in public with other people's parents, that kind of shit. I remember your parents called one time. They're like, you got to come home because they hear all the cursing in the background at the Hadley's house. Like, yeah, brothers are fighting all that stuff.
Your brothers were cussing up a storm.
Oh, most definitely. But I'll give you a real dope life lesson for anybody who gives a damn about it is a team building activity called the help triangle. It's dope as shit. So you basically take a big rope and you put it around 3 trees that have, 10 feet in between them or something. So you have a nice little space to walk around. You blindfold people and do a trust walk underneath that rope. So now their right hand or their left hand, you have them put one hand specifically walking in the same direction on the rope, and they cannot go over the rope, under the rope, or through the rope.
Are they inside?
They're inside the triangle.
Okay.
That's intertwined or wrapped around the 3 trees. They cannot go over, under, or through the rope. Get out. How do you get out? And so they were blindfolded trying to figure it out. And the only way, this is the biggest spoiler alert ever, because I hope if somebody's done this before, great. If you haven't done it, I'm totally ruining it for you, but you should try it with other people, is they just have to say, like, can somebody help me? Or I need help. It's asking for help. It's called the help triangle. So then you sneak over. I would tap Glazer on his head. I'd be like, I would duck him out under the thing. I'd be like, Glazer has escaped the triangle. And I don't call it the help triangle. I just say has escaped. And I'd pull you over to the side. I'd be like, congratulations. You were not afraid to ask for help. You have escaped the help triangle. Now you can kind of help guide other people around. If you hear the word help, then you help escort them out, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a skill.
Yeah.
It takes skill because we feel like weak asking for help. But at the end of the day, like, we all need help, whether it's professionally, whether it's with a therapist, whether it's just, yo, can you help me do this thing? Can you come help me? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It is not something to be looked down on. I think asking for help is a really, really good thing, and we should be all doing it a lot more.
Like even driving to the airport or helping me move a couch or anything, things that feel like the biggest burden are like pretty small at 100%. The end of the day, mostly.
But those small things add up just like problems do, and then it Jenga towers over and you're like, fuck, it's all toppled now. I'm like overwhelmed. I just want to be whelmed. Like, whelm me. Like, let me take you to the airport, scoop me up from the airport. We do that for each other. Like, that's real homie shit. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. You're making time. You're giving your time.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of a time that I should have asked for help.
You can, if you really think about it, you'll come up with dozens and be like, fuck, realistically, I probably should have asked for help for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because
I never
want to do it solo.
My big problem is like trusting that okay, so here's the tricky thing about that. Let's say I'm asking you for advice on something. You give me the advice. I follow the advice and it doesn't work out the way I wanted to. Now, fuck you and fuck your advice and fuck you for giving me that advice. And even more so, fuck me for asking for help and not just doing it myself in the first place, because now the responsibility is on you and me. And that is painful for both of us.
I hear that, and here's where I'll disagree with a little piece of that. Like, everybody is different, right? And everybody's shit is different. But if you ask for advice, you're asking for me to give you advice that I might have. Great. It may or may not work out for you. It's worked for me. Doesn't mean it'll work for you. My diet may not be your diet. My style may not be your style. Maybe this works for you. This is what's worked for me. And specifically, you asked me for the advice.
Right.
I did not unsolicited give you the advice. That's actually one of the rules in here is like, don't give advice unless it's asked for specifically, because it's just not going to be received the same. It's not going to be appreciated the same. And it comes off a little bit more like know-it-all or arrogant. But if you're asking for it, it's usually from somebody you trust. And if it doesn't work out, then like add that to your list of things that didn't work for that specific situation and try to find something else and rejigger it that will, because that's not my fault. The onus is squarely upon you, the person who has the issue, who's trying to find a solution for it. You know what I'm saying? Plant those thoughts.
Dap up that tree, dog.
I got you.
It's like, yeah, man. Oh God, I needed to hear that.
It's like, man, you better believe this shit. Yeah, my pun game is awful. But I will say 100%. Yeah, the onus is on you. It's your fucking problem. But kudos to you for asking for help. Kudos to you for asking for advice, because all you can do is cherry pick bits and pieces of wisdom from other people who've perhaps experienced that stuff and then figure out how to apply it to that issue.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll work. And if it does, dope. If it doesn't, that's okay too. And it's not my fault that it didn't work for you, but I'm giving you the advice that you asked for and the tool in your tool belt to perhaps solve that situation.
And then filter it through your own personal experience to
100%.
decide what you want to do with that advice and how it could serve you, or the pieces that could. I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Like, there have been so many times I just like cheated my way through school because I hated it. Instead of asking the teacher
100%.
to help me understand it, I was like, I'll just cheat.
Oh, had to.
I mean, Hadley.
We were not, I don't know about you. I was not diagnosed with ADHD until my like junior year in college. And I was like, oh, so you're telling me if I'd have been taking this medicine, I would have been able to focus and understand this stuff instead of going in one ear and out the other and me having to read this paragraph 3 different times to understand it and then writing it down. I had to teach myself the way to learn versus somebody saying, oh, I'm seeing that you're struggling with this and you're afraid to ask questions to look silly because I haven't made it a space where it's okay to be wrong. Failure is the only way to learn and to get better. Like, holy shit, life lesson of all time. Like, failing is good. Failing, not failing upwards, but failing means if it's good if you learn from it.
Yeah.
If you just fail and suck and you don't learn anything from it, then you are doomed to repeat that same mistake over and over and over. Like, definition of insanity. But yeah, man, I'm in that same space as you, man. Like, yeah, I was cheating on tests, trying to figure out how to get past stuff. Like, man, I was killing it. I was too killing it. And shout out to Miss Fussberg, man. She was Fussner. She was dope.
Fussner.
But man, those essays. Why are we writing essays? When in their life are you writing an essay? What's the point of a fucking essay?
Yeah,
so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. There's no reason for essays. I don't get it.
Do you know what I started doing in math because I'm so bad at it? Do you remember a teacher? He bald head mustache high school teacher in math for math at all?
Yeah.
Mr. something.
Oh, 100. He was a mister.
He was a mister. Yeah.
Prosser, maybe?
I don't know.
Mr. Bald.
Mr. Mustache. And I would tape $5 to the back of every single one of my tests. Because I was like, I'm either going to get caught cheating, and he knows I'm cheating. I have, you slide the calculator up. You've got all the formulas written on the inside in pencil so that you can erase it in case if the heat comes on too hot, you can erase everything.
That was our cell phone at the time. We didn't have mobile phones like that. We had maybe pagers, and you're not getting paged with answers and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I got so tired of cheating because it was equally as exhausting to put myself through that. I just started taping $5 to the back of the test, and he would always return it with $5 still taped to the back of the test.
That's dope. Hey, that's scruples. He had his principles.
Exactly. And I was like, what is it going to take, baby? You know what I mean? Like, I'm staying after.
But you kept passing him?
Yeah, I kept passing.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And he never brought it up. He never, like, props to him too, because he knew I was struggling. He never brought it up. He never said stop it. He never made a comment. He just would like put it back down and act like it didn't exist. And I think that was like actually a better call than
100%.
Me having some like any kind of validation for doing it or having a silly little thing between us or any of that.
But you did have a silly thing between you.
Yeah,
and
we
he
did.
knew, and that was cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that he gave it back, that's, give it like you get it.
That's one of my life rules I've found. Money doesn't, it's very helpful, but it doesn't always like change things in a way.
100%.
Know what I'm saying?
Sometimes for the negative, could have taken the turn for the worse. Just like when people get a bunch of money, they start forgetting what it was like to not have money, that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah. For the NHL awards, they paid me $11,000. That's a fat fucking check, dude.
All in ones? Like strip club money, or was it just like a check?
It was 3 checks.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
Trying to installments.
Dropping installments and shit. But $11,000, it was like so crazy to have that much money at one time. And unfortunately, I did nothing with it. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, ooh, I've got my rent and I'm going to get some sneakers and I'm going to do this with it. But like, really what I should have done was like enjoyed myself and taken a little victory lap. And I couldn't because I was so like scared that no money would ever come again that I was like, I better hold this as tight as possible. And I think I held it so hard that all these pennies fell out all over the floor. And then I had to pick them out. And so like, that's one of my like things I'm trying to change is like, if you get a win, have a little fun with it.
Absolutely.
And, maybe put some away for a rainy day. My dad's always telling me about something called a 401k. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like something he cares about. And, like I would love to like just have the ability to, enjoy those wins a bit,
Absolutely, dude. You got to celebrate a little bit of success every time. And it doesn't mean go splurge crazy, but at least like treat yourself. You did a little bit with the sneakers. I mean, like that is something. You celebrated the win something, and you can look at those sneakers and be like, okay, this is a memory locked in that I earned this through this, whatever it is.
I got some low low priced grails, some Comme des Garçons New Balances that I love. I'm a huge Comme des Garçons fan, but like,
Those are dope as shit.
I love them so much. But I've always just only heard, because we're both sports guys, about the dudes who all of a sudden they like get their first contract and all their friends are like, "Yo, I've got the fucking thing, and it's gonna double you up, triple you up." And next thing you know, MC Hammer is like selling his pants to make ends meet. You know,
And the answer is, cool. Go after that dream, but I'm not funding it.
Yeah.
Like, come to me with a business plan. You know, like we talk about school and education and money. Shit. Why aren't they teaching what a Roth IRA is when we're in grade school and middle school and high school? Like how to actually save your money, how to take out a fucking loan, what a mortgage means, all that stuff. We don't get that. We learn how to fucking bake a cake. When are you baking cakes? I mean, shout out to cake bakers or shout out to essay writers, but none of us are using that skill set to advance ourselves in lives other than niche people. If you're going to be a journalist, sure, knowing how to write, that's great. Knowing how to bake, that's dope. But I would rather have learned what a stock is in retrospect. Would I have had the attention paid to it, not on ADHD medication? It would have been in one ear, not the other. But if somebody was a good enough teacher, they would have been able to explain it properly and make it interesting.
You know what you make me think of? I don't think Sacagawea gladly showed Clark and Meriwether Lewis around. I don't think that she was like, "Oh, let me give you a tour."
Here's the trail. Just go that way.
Yeah, come on, follow me. Oh, I got you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Let me just show you all our land.
Dude, shout out to Lewis and Clark. Shout out to the one and only Sacagawea. Yeah.
I feel like she was maybe at like Arrow Point taking those men down the river.
I mean, that's why she got the gold $1 coin that disappeared. You know, she didn't get the real deal.
That's so true.
It's some bullshit.
It is some bullshit. Look at this gold coin nobody wants.
No, I mean, although I do think as the U.S., if we got rid of these dollar bills and transitioned to more coin, it would be way better. Like if a dollar was no longer a bill, what's the point in that paper bill? And get rid of pennies. Why do we have fucking pennies?
Wait, I don't want a pocket full of coins jingling and jangling around. I like, unless I'm doing laundry, that's the only reason, or playing an arcade game.
Well, if they made it more accessible to do more shit with those dollar coins or whatever it is, I mean, like, it just
you're
makes
saying
more
keep
sense.
like a dollar coin is better than a paper coin or a paper dollar.
Yes. Transition out of the $1 bill and turn it into the dollar coin, because then it gets spent more. And why are we using paper money for $1? And why are we spending more than it costs? It costs more to create a penny than the penny is worth.
Really?
Just to keep the fucking penny business going. Yeah, it's nonsense. Like, I know people, I won't name names because it's illegal, throw away their fucking pennies in the trash. They're like, this shit pisses me off. I don't need these. Just throw it in
It's illegal to throw pennies in the trash?
Yeah, I can't throw a penny. I'm like that. The Jew in me would never.
Oh, are you saying Jewish? It's
No,
it's illegal Jewishly.
No, it's illegal. Both, probably. But yeah, in the U.S., it's illegal to throw away money.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So every wish in a mall fountain is a felony.
Well, that's not the garbage, but yeah, it might be a felony.
It might be a
wish,
fucking felony.
Yeah, I never really considered that.
Damn.
Damn.
I would like more dollar coins because I think you can make bigger wishes.
Yeah, and then set that up with better vending machines. Oh, better wishes for sure. And then better vending machines. Like go to Japan, they get hot and cold beverages in the same vending machine. You can get a hot tea from the same thing you're getting a cold Coke from. I want that hot tea here in America. Why can't I put in a dollar coin? Or like, why don't we have vending machines that do hot and cold at the same time? Not those shitty coffee ones that drop like the dispenser with one hot stream of shitty coffee. Like, give me the bottled hot.
Dude, okay, so
give me the dollar coin.
We'll get back to your life rules in a second, but let's get into one reason life rules, and it's because you are half Japanese. You have spent a lot of time overseas in those countries, and you love them.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to travel, and technically a quarter Japanese, but my dad's half Japanese, so like, you know, I'll claim whatever.
Why wouldn't you be half then, if you're from your mom and your dad?
He's half, so I'm a quarter.
What?
So my dad's half Japanese, half French. So I'm not half if he's half. It dilutes it, right? I'm a quarter since he's half.
I'm gonna slide $5 over to you, and you just tell me that I did it
right back. But yeah,
on that math,
dude. Traveling, you know, one of the life rules. Like, life rules because people exist and different cultures exist, and we can go and experience them. And again, add those stories to our book, and then be able to retell those stories and make those new friends. Go to Japan. If you have a passport, go fucking use it. If you don't have a passport, you should get a passport. B, go use it. even if it's just going across the border to Mexico or to Canada. We have pretty dope neighbors north and south, or go overseas somewhere. Japan is incredible, culturally incredible. You'll go to a train station and have better ramen than anywhere you find in America. Damn near anywhere, and like the sushi from a grocery store is going to be better and more fresh than almost anywhere. Again, almost caveat, anywhere you find here. It's just go culturally and meet people. Have conversations with people. Sit down, have a meal with somebody who you know or who you don't know, and get to know them over a shared meal.
Well, you were using dating apps for that, just to like connect with folks over there
definitely.
and be like, I'm not looking for anything, but I am looking for someone to kind of hang with and show me around their spots.
Like,
That's
I'm not
so
looking
smart.
to hook up. I'm not looking for any sex. I'm just looking for dope human beings who are local, who are interested in going out and doing interesting stuff. If you don't want a tour guide, cool. We don't have to do that, but I'm still going to go do stuff, and it'd be nice to do it with locals. Thailand, I have a very fun story where I connected with a ladyboy. And if you don't know what ladyboys are, it's like a very beautiful, elegant cross-dresser, if you'll say that. I don't know how to best describe a ladyboy other than a dope-ass human who looks a lot of time better than a natural woman. You're like,
they're
God
hot.
damn.
Super hot.
What? And if you didn't know, you get fooled. Same here. We're in West Hollywood. Shit, you get fooled here.
I wouldn't mind getting fooled a couple times.
Fool me 3 times. Shame on all of us. I don't know, but
shame on no one.
Shame on no one.
Okay.
No shame. But she was like, "What?"
Wait, you found her through a dating app?
Through Bumble, yeah. And I swiped right on most everybody. And she was like, "What are you looking for in here?" I was like, "A local who's cool to show me around a little bit of the space, or to go out and have a nice meal with." What are you looking for? She's like, "Sex." I was like, "Ooh, okay, that's not going to be for me, but how about I wingman you, or we go out, have a meal, and like, I'll wingman you." And she didn't know what the concept was, so I broke it down. She's like, "Oh, okay," kind of reluctantly, but okay. So we met up, we had food, and then we went out to like 2 or 3 different spots. And I learned what her style was, how she approaches straight men, how she hits on people, how she flirts with people. And I was like, all right, is it okay for me to do this to intro somebody who you think is cute or whatever? She's like, absolutely. It ended up being one of the most fun nights that I was there, only 7 days, 8 nights, whatever it was. But she and I still like are in touch. She's like, when you come back, we got to go out again. It was straightforward, but it was so fun. And that experience wouldn't have happened if I didn't just A, be on a dating app, not trying to date, but just explaining it in my bio. And then B, do it. Like, lean in. You say lean in a lot. Like, I'm trying to lean in. I'm trying to meet people. I'm trying to have fun experiences that then I can pass along some of that knowledge or some of that experience, because life is fucking dope if you do it in different ways instead of what you're set in, instead of like, in your own lane all the time. Go switch lanes, put your blinker on though.
Yeah, let them know. Don't cut anybody off.
No, that's a dick move. Just use your blinker. That's a life rule in here. No.
Use your blinker?
Should be.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Another one I would say is, if you're the very first person in the left arrow turning lane, you're not allowed to be on your phone.
Oh, absolutely.
Keep it straight ahead. Yeah.
Pay attention. You shouldn't get honked at.
And second person should too, in case that honk is necessary. First and second, no phone.
Yo.
Third, be on your phone all day.
And can we devise a horn that honks for the person 2 people ahead or 3 people ahead? Like, is there a way to do that? Just like, being sarcastic in italics or putting those shrimp up to let you know you're joking. I need to have like, if it's honk, honk, I'm honking at 2 people ahead. But how do you know which car it's coming from if you're in the front? Like, I need you to know, person in front of me, this isn't about you. You're doing great.
Yeah.
The person ahead of you who's fucking it up for the rest of us, this is the honk for them.
I love that. The double honk goes around the first
You
car.
get it.
Yes.
100%.
That's brilliant language.
Man, give me some clear communication with that. I thought about getting those LED strips or whatever for your car that you can just, type in shit. I want to let the people behind me know, like, yo, that wasn't about you. My bad. Whatever. I didn't mean to pass you. I was passing the guy in front of you. Whatever. Like, again, be kind when you can. And on the road, it's really tough to be kind.
You know how many accidents there would be? You're writing full paragraphs to the cars around you, apologizing and trying
all
to...
day. It would be all fucked up. It would be totally weird. It wouldn't come out right either way, but it'd be hilarious. And 1 out of 3 or 4 people would be like, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do there." It'd be worth it to upset the other 3/4 of people.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
And people are writing back to you. Yeah, no, I feel you. That car is like in full conversations going 35 miles an hour.
There should be a Yelp for fucking reviewing cars and drivers. Like, just snap a pic of the car and the license plate and be like, this person does not use their signal ever and cuts over whatever the fuck it is. Like, 1 out of 5 stars, you suck at driving. Like, be a better communicator and be a better person. Like, man, come on.
I love that. It's one of the benefits of self-driving cars will be when we, like truckers who are all on their radios all the
CBs.
time, CBs, just chatting and chatting. Like once cars are driving for us, we'll be able to talk shit with each other in our lanes with the cars next to us, and we'll all be able to be having conversations while
That
we're
will be
getting
dope.
driven around.
Although we won't even be talking shit as much as just having fun, because I think of it like Minority Report, where they're all on the same like grid, because you'd all have to be using the same software. Shout out to my boy Justin, who came out last night. He was actually Justin Dearborn talking about this. He's like, well, we do have the capability for the magnets, so we have a magnetized road, so that way, I'm like, damn, you really put thought into this. But you'd have to all be on the same grid and software, so that way automated driving would actually be the safest and most efficient way to get places. Like ants, they don't change lanes. Like I'm trying to not change lanes. Just let me get from A to B as quickly, as efficiently, and as safely as possible.
But it takes away free choice. I love to zip around. You're an aggressive, stressed out driver.
I am, but only because I have to be. But if I didn't have to be, and I could be fucking sitting there doing work, or I could be playing a game or listening to music and not having to pay attention to the road, knowing that I'm going to get there safely because everybody else is doing the same speed limit and doing the same shit, getting off when they need to get off instead of changing lanes to try to pass everybody. Like, we don't need all that nonsense if we can avoid it.
Everyone listening is like, communist. He's a communist.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I definitely got little bits. And if you think your idea is the perfect idea and you have not taken bits and pieces from every other bit and piece to add to your satchel to make your idea better and stronger, then you are I'm not afraid to say, you're an imbecile. You are so close-minded. If you don't take other ideas and then make yours stronger, like you think your religion is all the right answer, one religion is right. Take bits and pieces from all of them, from all the little stories, and then like do you. That's the whole point. Like give yourself a moral compass. In this case, absolutely. Like if you think
respect.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know any of that about Justin because he was the quietest man in the group.
Oh yeah, that was his first time properly out solo dolo without his wife, kid, or folks, like first dude's night out in almost 2 years.
Respect. So glad he did it.
Yeah, he's like, well, he loves you. He loves, any Glazer comedy, he's coming to it.
That's nice.
If he's available. And for 2 years, he's got a year and a half old kid. And he's like, yeah, I don't really get to get out. So he was able to get permission.
Yeah.
That's the kind
of
a big
deal.
Yeah, you got to work in cooperation. You got to ask for help. Ask for help from the wife. Hey, honey, I need to get the fuck outside for a little bit without the kid, just like you need to get out solo dolo.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, the flip of that is saying no.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a surprising one for me, for you, because you are so gregarious, outgoing, connecting folks, moving and shaking, saying yes to life all the time. So how the fuck, like, you don't strike me as a no person, really.
I appreciate that. Similar to asking for help, I had to learn that it's okay to say no, because I wanted to give my time to any of my friends. I'm a ride or die for like all my people. I'll go above and beyond. I want to be there. I'm going to root them on, whether they got a song coming out, whether they just mixed something, whether they're telling a joke. I'm going to share that shit. I'm going to be like, I'm proud of you. I'm championing my people, because you got to lift your people up. But the moment that you start overwhelming yourself and you're spread too thin, then, what do they say? Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. Like the moment my cup is too empty and I'm trying to pour from it too much, I'm like, fuck, now I'm just stressed. I'm overcommitting. I'm under delivering. I'm not giving you the full version of myself. I'm giving you like that quarter-assed version that we talked about at the beginning.
That Japanese version of you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I got the good skin, Asian don't raisin, until we turn like 75 or 80, and then it just hits all at once. You're like, God damn, you went from looking young as shit to old as fuck. But that's just the way it goes. But yeah, it's okay to say no. And I think it's, there's something I wrote on here called protect your peace. Like, you can't always say yes to everything, because then you're just spread too thin.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. So yeah, I say no to a lot of stuff. And small story, like one of our friends who's a musician was like, yo, dude, he called me out. He's like, yo, I invite you to stuff. You're not coming to stuff. Why aren't you coming to stuff that I'm inviting you to? It's getting insulting. And I'm like, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to insult you. You have to understand, I have shit that I'm dealing with, and there's real shit going on in life. When's the last time you called me to ask me how I'm doing? Ooh. Checking on your strong friends.
Ooh.
The ones who always check on you. When are you reciprocating that? There's a reason I'm saying no. You should know that by now.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who's just like flippantly saying, nah, fuck off. Like if I say no, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's because I'm struggling and I'm going through shit. And if those homies aren't, calling to check in, not everybody does that. That's okay. But there's a reason for the no.
That's wild because they're coming at it from like a selfish, this dude doesn't like me, doesn't fuck with me thing, instead of thinking about like, why are you not
Dude,
doing the
ask
thing?
questions.
Yeah. Well,
You
but
know,
in my
100%.
instance, I'm really working on going out and doing things, and you've pushed me to go. Like the other night, I'll get to that in a second, but like
Sure.
I'm such a loner and I isolate so much because it's way safer to just isolate and keep it tight. And then if I don't go anywhere, nothing can happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then I can't go back home and be like, fuck, what an idiot. But but you've done so well and been so like generous with like, we're going to this, we're going to that. And then I say yes to it. And I'm like, dog, I should have been saying yes to all of this so long instead of just like saying no, but then staying home, doing a little bit of work, but more than anything, just like isolating.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. At the same time, it's okay to say no to those things and be like, hey, I'm down for like the next one, but this one, maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe you're just feeling shitty. Maybe you don't need the camaraderie and you don't want to go and fucking chop it up with two people who you don't know a ton and you know me and you're like, I just don't want to deal with being social today.
Yes,
That's okay.
but dog, but yes, but here's a life rules. Here's why life rules. Bringing it back to the woods.
Hell yeah.
We're at the woods. You're hanging out with Owen Wilson, beating him at backgammon. You run into a woman named Moon.
Oh yeah, Moonflower vibes.
Moonflower vibes. You meet up with Moonflower vibes. The other night we're out and you're like, hey, we're going to go to this. I'm going to go to this thing downtown. It's
Moonflower Mondays, I think. Mondays downtown.
Exactly. It's
LA.
11:30 at night. And you're like, I'm going downtown. I was like,
yeah,
whatever.
you're gonna go chop it up with some different, you know.
I was gonna
you were
go-
gonna do what you should be doing, which is networking, getting to know other people in the space that you work in.
Yes, but here's why life rules, dude. Instead of just like going there and networking and doing that, I had a real experience with you. We weren't just doing comedy. We weren't just talking comedy. We weren't just talking about who gets what, all that bullshit.
Truth.
What we did was we went downtown a half hour away, went to Moonflower Mondays with Moonflower Vibes. She remembered us. We saw our homie DJ. I was handed weed lube for Valentine's Day. We got cupcakes from a woman named Kiki, and we had a fucking night. And I walked out of there and I was like, holy shit. We went to a downtown vibe where the music was popping. We supported a small business. We
Yes.
got fucking weed lube on top of it. And Moonflower Vibes is now a friend.
And we got all the vibrations, man. It was so good. It was such a good exchange. And shout out, we didn't have a single fucking drink while doing it. We didn't have to drink the whole, like, I'm not a drinker and like, neither are you a lot of the time. So it's just nice to be able to go and have fun and vibe. We didn't even have to fucking smoke. The high was natural. The high was from interacting with human beings and getting on that level and getting on that vibration. Yeah, hell yeah. So I'm with you on that. But you can't always say yes to that. There are times that it's okay. I'm just saying it's okay to say no.
Right.
It's okay for you to be selfish too and say, when somebody asks you, can you come help move furniture for me? It's okay to say, yeah, sure, I'm happy to help. It's also okay to say, nah.
Yeah.
I'm over 40 and my back's not, hire somebody for that shit. You know, if you can't afford to, like, that's okay. Sure. I'll make some time, whatever it is, but you don't always have to say yes to everything.
Well, I showed you that text from my mom.
Yeah.
When she called and left a voicemail. Hey, Michael, quick question. I was like, it's never quick. It's never quick. Hit her up.
It's never a question.
It's never a question and it's never quick. And I hit her back with a text that said, hey, mom, I'm working. What's up? And she just writes back, have I ever made you happy? And I was like, I don't want to answer that. That's a firm no, dog. Like, that is a no answer. I don't want to answer that.
And that's you protecting your peace. Because you know, if you start unloading there, it's not going to make her feel any better by any stretch. And you're trying to protect her peace there too. You're like, look, I love you. And even though I may not vocalize it all the time, if I were to come out of right, left, center field, all of them at once and throw a ball at you, you have to catch 3 balls at once. These are all just going to hit you. You're not going to catch any of it. You're just going to get hit by all of it. And you're going to feel like shit. You're going to be bruised the next day. It's just not going to be a good feeling. So, low key, deep down inside, it's because you love your mom. You're not going to go in and like tell her all that shit.
That's true. That's
100%.
true.
Love
Also,
you,
come on. I want to do a couple more life rules stories about why life rules, because you've lived such a good life before we wrap up here.
Sure.
Do you have any great sports stories? Because you are the most deep sports guy I know. Watching the Super Bowl with you, you're like, this is the play they're going to call it. These are the things. Do you have any, and you're right about all of it all the time. Do you have any just great sports stories that come to mind where you were like, I got to meet this person, or I did this, or I finagled my way into hanging out with Mark Cuban, like, because sports are so important and I feel like they're such a reflection of life.
Great Great question. Absolutely. I got a bunch of life rules from sports. Being competitive is important. It's okay to be competitive. It's okay to want to win. You know, it's also okay to learn how to lose graciously and to know that, like, again, failure breeds success.
Yeah.
You know, like, listen to Michael Jordan talk. He'll be like, dude, I got cut from this team. I had to do this in order to get to there. All these guys
I heard a
failed.
Jordan story the other day. Maybe you've
Lay it
heard it
on me.
before, but somebody was talking about playing against Jordan, and they said something like, Jordan came up to them and said, "I heard what you said about me," and then dropped like 70 on him. And the guy had never said anything about Jordan, and Jordan made it up in his mind, said it to the guy to make it real so that he could dominate the fucking competition.
He needs that fuel.
He needed that fuel, and he just invented it for himself to get there.
I know that story, and it's a great story, and it's so true. It's so good. I mean, yeah, I mean, life rules, sports rules. It also brings people together. You know, like, you played hockey. Like,
Yeah.
I love in hockey, if you ever watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, whenever a team, they go 7-game series sometimes, it is a grind, fights, more than concussions. Like, people, you risk your life, you get cut with a skate on the throat. They have surgeons, they have medical people right there ready to fix you up. Thank God they exist. At the end of that 7-game series, every player comes and shakes the other person's hand. It's like, I may not like you, but I respect you, good game. Even though I'm pissed as fuck that I lost.
Yep.
Like, you have to handle it with grace.
Yep.
Unlike some of these teams that don't, you know, like, there's an NBA team that ducked everybody. Like, Isaiah Thomas ducked the Bulls when the Bulls finally, if you ever watched the Jordan
Last Dance.
Thank you. Yeah. Finally, after Jordan's getting his ass kicked, literally getting beat up in the 80s into the early 90s with the bad boys, they finally overcome this biggest obstacle in the Eastern Conference. They finally get to the NBA finals. And while they would dap up Isaiah and all the other Pistons when they lost the Bulls, they then were expecting that same handshake. And Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons ducked out and walked right by their bench. And it's just the most bitch move, because they're like, hey, lose with some class, motherfuckers. Like, you beat us and we shook your hands and we got better from it, and you can't handle the loss? Okay, and that's why that rivalry still exists today. That's why Isaiah Thomas wasn't on the Dream Team in '92 when everybody else in basketball, he should have been there.
Yeah, that was the dream team.
Yeah, 100%. Except for fucking Christian Leitner, a college kid, somehow got in there.
I mean, he hit a game winner for Duke. He can carry that on the rest of his life.
You played well in college. Anyway, like take his ass off, put Isaiah in there, whatever. But to the bigger point, like, yeah, lose with some class. Some fun sports stories. There's so many. And they all segue into life. Like, one of the sports stories, we're big St. Louis supporters, like Blues, Cardinals. That's our shit.
Oh yeah, ambush.
You know, absolutely. And when we were at the Woods again, we ran into John Hamm, another St. Louis guy, who were like, "Oh shit, it's John Hamm." And you walked up and you had the fucking I don't know, confidence and just ease of opening somebody up and making them feel at home, just to be like, hey man, from one St. Louis guy to another St. Louis guy, I just want to tell you, keep it going. Big fan of St. Louis, big fan of, just what you're doing and how you represent our city. And then he's like, oh, you guys are from St. Louis? Stops his whole conversation, has a 30-minute chat with us, and about anything but acting. It was just St. Louis. And that was connected to the St. Louis Blues, where he does like the voiceover work for them and stuff. It was cool. So we were able to celebrate these moments. I did get to meet Mark Cuban a number of times. The very first time I met Mark Cuban, shout out to my friend, my old college roommate, Adam Rowland at Arizona, Bear Down, Arizona. I went to spring break at his place in the Bay Area once. His dad had Warriors tickets before they were, the Steph Curry Warriors in like the early 2000s. They sucked.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was Dirk Nowitzki. This is Steve Nash. This is Michael Finley. These are guys that I loved. And 0-1, we go to this game and we're sitting like 5 rows up from under a basket. And I'm the only dude in Golden State and probably in America at the time, even wearing a Mavericks jersey. And I'm wearing a Michael Finley jersey because he's the guy who put in all the minutes, good leader, never talked shit. I just admired his game. And Mark Cuban walks on the baseline and he points to me, and I don't realize it, but a couple people tap me. They're like, hey, that guy's calling for you. And my buddy's like, yo, Mark Cuban's pointing at you. And I'm like, what? And I stood up and he's like, yeah, come here. So I was like, oh shit. And I'm 18, 19. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I walk onto the court, my first ever NBA game, mind you. And he's like, thanks for being a fan. That's so cool that you're here rocking. And he had just owned the team for a year. Okay. This is like the young like 40-year-old tech billionaire. And he was making time to show love to a fan for representing the team. He's like, do you want me to sign your jersey? I'm like, sure, I don't know. So he signs my jersey, brings a photographer out. We take a photo together. He writes my email down and then my address, and he sends me that picture in the mail.
Fuck out of
here.
It
was wild, So I've emailed with him like a dozen times or more.
Sure.
And he's known for responding to emails too. So he's responded to all of them. And I'm like, how cool is it? And I've never sent him that picture and been like, by the way, this is how it all started. This is why I have your email and this is why whatever. But I feel like I might be able to say that to him in the future, but he's way too busy. But the thing is, like, he wasn't too busy to show love to his not fans at that arena.
Yeah.
There was one person wearing a Mavericks jersey and I was that guy. It was just, you never know who you're going to meet through sports. I love sports. I love that it's the best reality show ever of all time. When we were watching the Super Bowl the other day.
Because it's scripted.
Exactly. Like, oh yeah, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, they're gonna propose. They're gonna support Biden on the field after the blah blah blah. This whole NFL game scripted, mega. I'm like, motherfuckers, this punter just kicked the ball 60 yards in the air and then it bounced off a guy's shoe and became a live ball. How are you gonna script that shit? Get the fuck out of here. There's more scripting in Vanderpump Rules. There's more scripting in Keeping Up with the Kardashians. There's more scripting in any reality show where they're trying to stage it and show you.
Well, I'd watch out because we might have to do a spinoff where it's you and Tina, another guest who's going to be on here, going to head about the best show being sports or reality TV.
Bring it on. There's also fun story. Like, where are you finding Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce in any other reality show? Sports. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. I got hundreds of examples that I can't think of right now that if you ask me to, I'll flow with them.
So you're saying that sports is the best show?
Sports is the best reality show.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Not even close. You just don't know what's going to happen. And when we were watching that game, my buddy's kid was there who's not a fan of sports. And his friend was there she's also not a fan of sports. She was just calling the whole time. She was like, which one is Taylor's boyfriend? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
By the fourth quarter, when the game got interesting, she was going to leave and she's like, all right, I'm going to stick around. His son came down to watch the last 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, come on, Killian, come watch this last 5 minutes. This is what all your friends who you don't care about sports, this is what they're going to be talking about. Then it goes into overtime and they're sitting there like Jon Stewart popcorn gif, eating all this shit. They're like, okay, that was wild. They're like gasping audibly. And I'm like, you don't get this anywhere else than in sports.
Yep.
I love it. I love sports. And then I love the camaraderie, the way you can have like a whole brotherhood and sisterhood and like family of fans who get each other's back. Buffalo Bills fans, there's no like more beautiful fan base. They will always go to bat for each other.
Definitely.
It's cool.
To tie it in as we wrap up, one of my like times that life ruled the most is it's always been a bucket list to go to a Premier League game. And so when I was in, where the fuck was I? London, I hit you up and I was like, what do I do? And you were like, go see Tottenham. I'm going to hook you up with my cousin. She has season tickets. You're going to get tickets from her.
Shout out Miriam.
And you're going to go see a Premier League game.
Dude.
And I went there, bought a hat for you, bought a hat for me, saw a Premier League game, amazing seats. And I knew nothing about the team. And then I get there, the people next to me decked out head to toe Tottenham, and I was already a part of the community. Dude. And they welcomed me. And it was truly 25, 30,000 people all beating drums. It was everything I've wanted after seeing it on TV.
All the stuff,
man. It was fucking hypnotic. And it is still one of the best moments of my life.
Dude, that's so cool.
Seeing a Premier League game like that.
You FaceTimed me at halftime. And I was like, yo, I'm so glad you got to go. And you're rocking this dope ass Tottenham hat. And I own like a Tottenham shirt or something like that. I've never seen this logo before. I'm like, what is that? You're like, oh, it's a Tottenham hat I just got. I was like, what? If it's not too much biting your style, can you grab another one of those? And you did. Shout out to Mike Glazer for bringing that back. Shout out to my cousin Miriam, who's not even a Tottenham supporter, but she's part of the Tottenham like supporters club or whatever, which is the only way you can get tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't been to a Premier League game, but I love them. I wake up early to watch with like my cousin and my brother. Whenever we're in different parts of the world, we can connect to watch this game. We'll wake up at the oddest hours. But yeah, sports brings people together. I mean, I got to see our hometown baseball team. Like, we're religion in Texas, and in the South is football. In St. Louis, it's Cardinals baseball.
Yep.
Got to see them win a World Series against my second favorite team, the Texas Rangers, who just won our first World Series. I got love for both teams. And I got to be at a Game 7 for a freaking World Series with our boy Mark Hirsch. Shout out Mark Hirsch.
And I remember specifically, he was like,
they call last call in the 7th inning, and I'm like, I hope I don't jinx it, but I'm buying 2 buds and I'm putting them under the seats, and I'm not telling Mark about it. And as soon as we caught that last out, I hand him one and I'm shaking it and just like pouring it all over, going nuts. It's a moment where you're literally walking through the entire city for hours and you're just high-fiving, hugging, and jovial, which is why it's so sad when something happens like it did for the parade the other day for the Chiefs. You should just be able to celebrate this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like sports fandom, it's like a family, man. It's nice to be able to be on the same team.
Well, it isn't even as here because I went over to your place to watch the Blues game 7
or
6 or whatever it
No,
was.
we won in 7.
It was 7, right? And we got champagne and then we FaceTimed Hirsch.
Yeah, that's right.
We sprayed champagne all over your apartment and then FaceTime Hirsch about
So
that
fun.
win. Like it is what it is,
cool.
dude.
Yeah, that was some legendary stuff. And it's like, it's a memory that should be locked away because it's just that good feeling that, it's fleeting. Happiness is fleeting. Sadness and anger are fleeting. Like everybody seeks contentment, that middle space, as you should. But like, it's nice to be in those super joyous pockets,
Fuck yeah, man.
Remember that feeling.
Did we cover it all? Did we do it?
Oh yeah, we've
Do you
covered.
want to race through anything else before we wrap up and I try and land this plane, but I probably do it poorly?
Oh, dude, you're going to land it beautifully without even a co-pilot and missing 2 tires. You're going to land this shit beautifully.
My guy.
I'll throw a couple. I'll say, go to live shows, go to concerts with friends, go experience music together. There's nothing like experiencing a show together. We just saw Isaiah Rashad do like a 10-year anniversary. If you don't know him, like cool. I mean, everybody's got their own musical taste and some people don't like music. Go with friends to live shows. There's something about it. We went to see Brittany Howard, the lead singer of the Alabama Shakes, who's now got a bunch of great solo projects, including one that she just dropped. We got to have such an experience and like shedding tears of appreciation and gratitude. And then we ended up fucking kicking it with Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Like next thing you know, and we're just hanging out with him talking. Like you don't know where anything is going to lead, but live music usually leads to good things. Also like show gratitude whenever possible. Shout out to Michael J. Fox. Through gratitude, optimism is sustainable. This man is struggling. He is slowly circling the drain and he's still optimistic.
Yeah.
Because he shows gratitude and he's grateful for everything. Like there's so many good rules out there. My Uncle Al, the kitty's pal, never trust a fart. Big fan of that one. Never trust a fart. Don't do it, man.
Yeah.
The older you get. And then if you drop something, and while you're picking it up, see if you got anything else down there that you got to do. Tie a shoe, whatever else, because it takes more time to get down and up the older you get. Never pass a bathroom. If you see it, go use it. Tying that one in. Wash before you go to the bathroom. That's a Joel Hadley life rule, big time. Wash before peeing. When you're out in public, you're touching so many people and things and stuff. And then you go and you touch your schmeckle, you touch your shit. And then, some people don't wash after, which is gross. There's a whole Dwight from The Office thing recently that he was like, yeah, I don't wash my hands at all after peeing. And I'm like, disgusting.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's like, I just touched the lever and my clean penis. And I'm like, bro, you touched that lever that's been touched by how many people? That's disgusting. You flush that toilet, you got to wash those hands before and after. I'm a fan.
I like that.
I advocate for getting guys getting that extra 2-3 minutes in the bathroom. Let them think you're taking a shit. Who cares? Like, do you? But wash those hands before, wash those hands after.
That's a great rule.
Yeah, I mean, there's more on here, but like, tell your people you care about them. Check in on your people, your strong friends who check in on you. It's the strong ones who typically need to be checked in on the most. There's a beautiful song by Royce the 5'9", off the Book of Ryan album, I think, from a few years ago called Strong Friends, or it's off the Allegory, one of the two. And underrated, underappreciated rapper and musician. Man, he dropped some serious knowledge about that on that song, Strong Friends. Like, it's usually your strong friends who are struggling, checking in on you. If you're not checking on them, your people who are looking after you, like who's going to be there for you? Like check in on your people, call anybody who's had a positive effect on you, whether it's your friend's parents, a teacher, whatever, and tell them, thank you. You made this impact on me. They don't hear it that often. So to hear it is such a heartwarming and good feeling. And that will leave you in their memories locked in. Like you've really done something. They've really done something. I called your folks back in 4 years ago. I had this idea. Just call somebody once a day or once every other day, whatever it is, and tell them how much you appreciate something they did, even if it's a small thing. Like, say it.
Yeah.
Why not? Life is short. You never know what's going to happen. Go do it, and then get out there and go play, go have fun, get outside every day. Enjoy it. Like, You'll notice I reference a lot of quotes and music lyrics.
Yeah.
One guy in sports that I love is Jim Valvano, who was a college coach, was really good friends with Dick Vitale before he died. And 2 months before he died, the ESPYs honored him with like this moment where he could give this beautiful speech. Google Jimmy V speech.
Okay.
Look it up on YouTube. It's worth watching. And he finishes this beautiful thing where he says, there are 3 things in life, 3 things you should do every day. And they're trying to like give him the red light. He goes, there's a guy back there trying to give me the red light. I'm dying. I'm not stopping for anybody. Get out of here with the damn red light. And so he starts going in. He's like, the 3 things. 1, spend some, laugh every day. Laugh. 2, spend time in thought. Think. And 3, so I don't get it wrong, he says, and number 3, you should have your emotions move you to tears. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a heck of a day.
Damn, that's good.
Right?
Yo, that's so good.
Jimmy V. So yeah, I mean, those are life rules. Life does rule. You got to look for the positives. And when shit is negative and there's bad shit going on in the world, because there always is, and hopefully there won't always be, but until we as humanity can like stop warring and try, like, why are we killing anybody? Why does anybody have to die for anything? Why is there so much death? I mean, that's a much different topic for conversation, but I'm just saying, like, be grateful for anything you have.
That's what's up.
And you can stay optimistic. Shout out Michael J. Fox.
Shout out Michael J. Fox. Plug anything you want. Let's wrap this baby up.
Yeah, my boy's got a podcast coming out that I'm on right now called Life Rules. Listen to it, subscribe, show some love, leave a review, 5 stars, share it with some friends who you think would get a kick out of it, or they have cool life rules, or maybe you connect. It's an old friend. The homie Jeff Ellis just mixed a bunch of new music. The homie Vic Weinstein just mixed a bunch of music and produced a bunch of dope shit that I love music. And whenever they put stuff out, I'm always just like, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever you do is usually going to be some of the top tier music that's out there that people are going to know about in 3 to 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, whatever it is. They're killing it. Just go and support your people. The homie Lonnie, DJ Lonnie Love, just put out a song called Time to Be a Hoe. Go look it up.
Yep.
Hoe out, have fun, tongue in cheek. Go see live music, go support your friends, and, keep it filled with gratitude and show love.
That's
I love you, brother.
Shit, dude. Love you, buddy. Thank you for doing this. If you want to check out my YouTube special that's tied into this, go to my YouTube. It's also called Life Rules. And also shout out Joel's dog Falcor. Real good guy. He's got great eyebrows. And I don't have a slogan yet. We were searching it. I don't know how to sign off yet. So this has been great. Thanks a lot, Joel.
My pleasure. Thank you.